construction industry, as well as effectively enforce any current law for the building and construction industry. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I hereby declare the National Rental Assistance Scheme duly launched. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Of our Republic, His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Ladies and gentlemen, a resounding round of applause. Wow. And those who would judge us merely by the heights we have achieved would do well to remember the depth from which we started. Who would have thought that a few years ago, when rent, and even till now, rent is still a problem for the average Ghanaian, by this great initiative of government today, we can look with confidence into the future and say that every Ghanaian, no matter your standing, you can also access quality, safe and secure renting. Please put your hands together for the government of today. Mr. Vice President, you've articulated so well the scheme, but let me just walk us through a few things that are very particular about the scheme, or particular to the scheme. Who is eligible for rent? Well, rent advance, I beg your pardon. A Ghanaian who must possess a valid Ghanaian or Ghana card is eligible. You must be 18 and above. You must have a verifiable employment and earned income. You must have a verifiable bank statement, but if you don't have all this, you can still bring your mobile money statement. Isn't that good news? Please put your hands together. The rent payable will not exceed 30% of the household income. Now we ask, how long will it take to receive the rent advance? 5 to 10 business days. The scheme will verify your application and supporting documents and determine your affordability and the ability to pay back, and inform you, the applicants, whether you've been approved or otherwise. How can I check my status on the application? The scheme will notify all applicants of their results, and the status will be known within 5 to 10 days. Will I be automatically given support when I apply? It is not automatic. All applications go through an automated scoring to determine if they are approved or denied. Will I receive the support directly, and which medium? You will not receive it directly. The rental assistance payment will go directly to the applicant's landlord when approved. So no middleman here. Will I have to pay back the rental assistance received? Why not? That's why your landlord demands 2 years, because you don't trust. So successful applicants will make monthly payments to the scheme. Do I have to pay back with interest? Why not? It's a loan. But beneficiaries will pay a low interest on their respective rent advance. Will I be eligible for rent assistance if I am self-employed? Why not? Self-employed applicants who qualify based on the eligibility criteria will receive the rental assistance. How much is one eligible to receive as rental assistance? The monthly rent deduction or payable must not exceed 30% of the applicant's household income. How many times can you get rental assistance from the scheme? Beneficiaries may reapply or renew for additional rental assistance as long as the rent does not exceed 30% of the household income. Are students eligible for this scheme? Students who can satisfy the eligibility criteria or whose parents can guarantee for them will be supported by the scheme, only if you don't insult the president. What category of household is qualified to receive rental assistance? Any household which rent exceeds 30% of his or her income does not qualify. What will happen if one doesn't pay back? A beneficiary is legally evicted from the resident premises within 1 month if he or she fails to pay back. What are the assurances of transparency in guaranteeing rental assistance? Every applicant receives an email and phone call about the application's status, and he or she is given a chance to correct the application in case of initial denial. Can an applicant appeal, request for fair hearing or administrative review of a decision? An applicant may complain through the Ministry of Works and Housing for fair hearing or administrative review on any final decision made by the scheme. Finally, is the scheme available in every part of the country? The initial implementation of the scheme will be carried out in the following regions: Greater Accra, Ashanti, Eastern, Western, Bono East, and Northern regions, and will spread to the rest of the 16 regions. What numbers can I call for further assistance? The numbers are on all our social media platforms. We wish to show you our website, www.nras.gov.gh, and our email, info@nras.gov.gh. Please go to this website and it will furnish you with every other information you need. I think a round of applause is in order. And so today, Nana Chair, this is what the government, your children, have put together for the whole well-being of Ghanaians. May we have your blessing today. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's receive back our chairperson for this occasion, the Omanhene of Asante Joabing, and the chairman of the Council of States, Nana Otro Sribo II.
Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, colleague members of the Council of States, Madam Chief of Staff, Madam Akosa Freeman Opare, Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, Deputy Ministers, Secretary General of the TUC, my very good friend, Dr. Yaba, General Secretary of the National Tenants Union, Mr. Frederick Opoku, distinguished invited guests, Ananum Nime Name, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. After a brilliant launching address by the Vice President, which I refer to as the keynote address, my remarks can be termed as a footnote address. I always love a situation where I have to speak after the Vice President. He is such a brilliant elocutionist that when you speak after him, you have a hard task having to match his eloquence and his brilliance. However, as chairman of the function, not that I have something to say, but I must say something. But in saying something, my first remark is that this is one of the few programs or ceremonies that I've attended where we have virtually matched time for time. I think the congratulations should go to the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing. It shows that he is really time conscious and he could predict to the last minute as regards when the program would start and when it would end. Let's give him a round of applause. I think this commitment and this efficiency will reflect in the implementation of the National Rental Association scheme so as to give Ghanaians the comfort and the succor that we all deserve. We have been regaled with a whole lot of speeches. We heard from the scheme manager that we are going to say goodbye to rent advance. The Tenants Union said that there should be a task force for dispute resolution and that the application should be transparent. My good friend Dr. Yaba of the TUC said that we should prioritize the scheme in favor of single market and that we should eventually extend to all regions. The Minister of Labour was emphatic that there should be consideration for pensioners, because sometimes pensioners are reluctant to, they even go to serve affidavits to reduce their age for fear that they may be evicted from where they are staying. And it sort of overheats the system sometimes. And also, he said that he gave a commitment of his ministry to partner the scheme to achieve success. The Minister of Works and Housing gave the cat out of the bag by saying that the scheme has an initial funding of 30 million cedis, which is sitting there breathing and waiting for tenants to come and access. I wish I was going to be a tenant. And then he also said that this is a complete departure from previous schemes which have looked at more of home ownership as against rental schemes. When he said that, somebody sitting close to me said that even if people are living in their houses, they are renting houses for other people whom they don't want to mention. So they become tenants by proxy. And the minister also mentioned that there are going to be operational challenges with regards to this scheme. The vice president really gave the cat out of the bag by saying that this scheme was indeed conceived in 2020 as part of the MPP manifesto, and it has taken it almost 2.5 years for it to be given birth to. And today we are having the naming ceremony. So we thank you very much. And then he also mentioned that the scheme is in partnership with the private sector, which is very, very welcome. When I read through the brochure, I was really heartened to observe that it's going to be devoid of political pressure and political interference, and transparency is therefore assured. It's going to be initially operational in 5 regions. I'm happy that it's not going to be based in Accra. The other day, when I was in school and in our time, even when you were going to apply for a scholarship, you have to travel all the way to Accra to come and collect forms from the school secretariat, which was then in some wooden house close to the beach. And I asked one of the students, well, he said, oh, but you see, you have to go to Accra. I said, oh, but everything's in Accra. I said, oh, but you know, God lives in Accra. So now God, even though we believe in Accra, his angels are going to be in the regions. And they have equal potency as God himself. So we have a situation where we are decentralizing. My emphasis or my remark would center on operationalizing a scheme to make it transparent. If it is transparent, people will have credibility in it. I will request and recommend seriously that beneficiaries who apply may even be published, and those who are eventually approved may even be published, so that somebody cannot not go with the same name as Mr. X here, and then he goes with his home name, Mr. B, even though the Ghana card may emanate that, you know, there are clever people around. Just as you are giving a good scheme, there are people who are even scheming faster than you are. We have been just told that, irregularities that have been observed have been uncovered with the school placement scheme. Beautiful scheme, but in the hands of the non-worthy becomes also tainted. So I would recommend that those who are giving assistance should be published, so that if you are giving assistance and you're still staying in your same house, and you have been there over and over again, public opinion will even turn against you, and that it will take the heat out of the managers. I see that the scheme is going to be operational by the rent masters, who are a private group. This is very laudable, very, very laudable. As I said earlier, it takes away any shade of political interference. However, when you look at the project management committee. It's in the brochure. You have some ministers in them. But I think when it comes to housing, I think the operational ministries should be, because most of the beneficiary workers, even if they are pensioners, they are once workers. And who represents workers? The TUC. So in that regard, I would recommend serious consideration of this, that you include the TUC and the Minister of Labour and the Minister of Labour in the headship of the scheme.